students, and there are also students who have come here from outside India. Let me share with you the journey which started long back. Actually, Pali was one of the subjects taught in this university since its inception in 1949. However, at that time it was under the Department of Sanskrit and Prakrit languages, and hardly anyone knew about the availability of courses in Pali in this university, and therefore the subject by far remained in a way neglected. It was not in the mainstream, but still I remember that we had a wonderful teachers in Professor J.R. Joshi, and with him Dr. Pratibha Pingle was there, Suniti Duble was there, Pushpata Kale was there, and so there are a few of these teachers who were there, and they were teaching Pali here in this university. And we mostly had students coming from outside India, primarily from Thailand, Korea at that time. There were not many Burmese, and unfortunately there were no Vietnamese at that time. So, but things have changed. And but the thing was that there were no Indian students. मला अजूनही आठवतं की मी जेव्हा इथे शिकायला सुरुवात केली त्यावेळी परदेशी विद्यार्थ्यांबरोबर मी शिकत होतो आणि मी एकटाच भारतीय विद्यार्थी होतो आणि बाकी कोणीही भारतीय विद्यार्थी नव्हते. आणि ही परिस्थिती खूप काळ म्हणजे विद्यापीठाच्या अगदी सुरुवातीच्या काळापासून पाली विषय जरी इथे होता तरी पाली शिकणारे भारतीय विद्यार्थी नव्हते, आणि ही परिस्थिती साधारण 2000 पर्यंत कायम होती असं म्हणायला पाहिजे आपल्याला. जवळपास 50 वर्ष आपल्याला इथे पालीचं शिक्षण उपलब्ध होतं, पण खूप कमी लोक पाली शिकले, आणि जे शिकले ते बेसिकली त्यावेळी संस्कृत करत असणाऱ्या विद्यार्थ्यांना एक कंपल्सरी विषय घ्यायला लागत होता, त्यामुळे ते विद्यार्थी शिकत होते. पण पाली MA करणार, एंटायर पाली घेऊन करणारे अगदी कोणीच नव्हतं. मी MA केलं त्या काळामध्ये तरी मला कोणी आठवत नाही. Then after I finished my masters in Pali and then started. At that time, I never thought that I will have my career in Pali. And in fact, when I was studying in Mumbai for my graduation, I was receiving JRD Tata scholarship, and the people there, they said that why do you want to study Pali or Sanskrit? Because you will not earn your bread and butter because of that. So you should better learn something else, some professional course. But I stick to my plans, and I came here to study Sanskrit and then Pali, and also studied Prakrit. So when we began this journey, we had to attract students, and that kind of started slowly, one by one. There were first 1 or 2 students who actually were not really interested in studying Pali, but they came to our department because they could not get admission anywhere else. And so we had to kind of make efforts to catch them. Here we have some of our Ritesh is here, and I think Deepali would probably also remember the old days when we hardly had any Indian students studying Pali here. But then slowly things changed, and after 2000, with the turn of the millennium, we started seeing a slowly but steady growth of number of students coming to study Pali out of interest, willingly, not being forced to study it. But then it started slowly, and then it went on increasing with the mouth publicity, and slowly the word spread. As in Pali we say, so Kalyano Kitti Saddo Abhuk Gachi. So this good word of fame actually spread in the region, and this is also the time, I should say, that there were few important facts, like the Buddhist movement in Maharashtra and in India, basically we should say, took strongholds. And there was aspiration among people to study Pali, the language of Dhamma, to study Buddhism in the with original sources. And this is how attracted many students to come and study Pali. we had many Vipassana practitioners who also thought that they should study Pali because to understand what Buddha actually has said in the Pali scriptures. And this is how they also came to study Pali. And then we also slowly had students started coming from abroad. And in 2006, with the able leadership, under the able leadership of Shri Ratnakar Gaikwad, the then Vice Chancellor of the university, he decided to start an independent department of Pali. And this is how the department started. Some of my old students or alumni and some of our faculty members would remember that in this same building, this Kerwangmai Bhavan, there was a small room, not even 10 by 10, where we started the department. And in the same room, I used to sit. In one corner, my secretary used to sit. And just outside there was a small library which we created. So it started like that in 2006. And slowly, the Dhamma worked, and what the ambition which we had, and at that time actually I had a wonderful colleague in Dr. Ujjwal Kumar, who is now in the University of Calcutta, but he joined me, and then we started the work, very well supported by Professor Gokhale, Professor Bahulkar, all these my teachers, and with their support, and of course my wife Lata, who is also here, we started this journey. And then slowly things started changing. And what we decided, at that time, some of you may not be even aware that there was a time when even there was a committee set up to actually take a decision on whether the Pali department should remain in the university or it should be closed. And but somehow, we went on doing our work, and at the end of the day, the department survived, but not just survived, but it developed with a great power and spirit. तर अशा पद्धतीने हा सगळा प्रवास सुरू झाला, आणि जो विभाग बंद करावा की चालू ठेवावा याच्यासाठी कमिटी बसली होती, आणि त्याच काळामध्ये आम्ही जे काम केलं, आणि UGC कमिटी मध्ये समोर आम्ही प्रेझेंटेशन केलं, आणि सगळ्यांनी कौतुक केलं डिपार्टमेंटच्या कामाचं, आणि त्याच्यानंतर डिपार्टमेंटने कधी मागे वळून बघितलेलं नाही. आणि आय एम हॅपी दॅट टुडे वी हॅव सच अ गुड नंबर ऑफ स्टुडंट्स प्रेझेंट फॉर दिस पाली डे फंक्शन. And we also have some of our alumni students from past batches, and I said many students who have been just going from one course to the other, and expanding their understanding of Buddhism, Pali, and also Sanskrit. Now my colleague Pranali has just mentioned that initially we started with our focus on Pali, but what we realized is that just like Pali was in a way neglected and was sidelined, so were the other languages related to Buddhism. And so we thought that if we will not take the lead, who is going to preserve this great treasure of Buddhist literature? The great masters like Nagarjuna, Aryadeva, Vasubandhu, so they composed their treatises in Sanskrit. And before that, there were many sutras, Mahayana sutras, and even the old Agama, just like we have the whole canon Tripitaka in Pali, we also had a Tripitaka in Sanskrit, and often people call it Buddhist Sanskrit variety. And that was not studied at all. And the Sanskrit departments, not just here, but all over India, were kind of neglecting this language because they did not consider it to be a chaste Sanskrit or a pure Sanskrit. And the departments of Pali all over the country, they did not study Buddhist Sanskrit because they thought that it is not Pali. And as a result, this great treasure of Buddhist Sanskrit, which is a variety of Sanskrit mixed with Pali and Prakrit, and it was neglected and nobody was to take care of it. And we thought that we have a responsibility. As a department of Pali, we are not just connected to language, but also to Buddha's thought. And as you are all aware that Buddha never talk about one single sacred language. He always talk about multiple language. My students of Pali would remember that when the proposal was taken to Buddha that we should put the words of the Buddha in Chandas, the Buddha said no. We should allow everyone to study Buddha Vachana in their own tongue. Sakaya Nirutyadamo Buddha Vachanam Paryapadam. And he allowed that, and as a result, Buddhism could spread all over the world, right, in different languages. If Buddhism would have been very adamant that only Pali, it would not have spread. So it could spread because it was very open to languages. So any language. So Buddha said that whatever language carries the words of the Buddha is a Dhamma Nirutti. That's the Dharma Nirutti. That's the language of the Dharma. And we should therefore respect all the languages. So Buddhist literature is found not only in Pali but in Buddhist Sanskrit, in different varieties of Prakrit. It was translated into Chinese as early as 1st century. And then it also went to Tibet. It was translated into many Central Asian languages. So Buddhism had a very vast canvas of languages. Buddhism always upholds multilingualism. बौद्ध ती परंपरा आहे, ती बहुभाषिकतेला प्राधान्य देणारी परंपरा आहे, सगळ्या भाषांचा आदर करणारी परंपरा आहे. तुम्ही एकाच भाषेत बोललं म्हणजे पवित्र आणि दुसऱ्या भाषेत बोललं म्हणजे अपवित्र, अशा प्रकारच्या विचारांना ती थारा देत नाही. ज्या कुठल्या भाषेतून तुम्ही यम किंचित सुभाषितम सब्बम तम बुद्ध भाषितम, जे काही सुवचन असेल, चांगलं वचन असेल, ती बुद्धांचीच वाणी आहे. ह्या प्रकारचे अप्रोच घेऊन बुद्धांनी धम्मप्रचार केला आणि तेच ध्येय बाळगून तेच मार्गदर्शन आपण घेऊन आपण आपला प्रवास सुरू केला आणि सगळ्या ह्या भाषांना आपण जवळ केला. आता आपण बघितलं की आपल्या डिपार्टमेंटमध्ये पाली बरोबर बौद्ध संस्कृतचा अभ्यास होतो, क्लासिकल संस्कृतचा अभ्यास होतो. जी लेखांमध्ये, शिलालेखांमध्ये जे पुराभिलेख आहे त्याच्यामध्ये जी प्राकृत भाषा आहे त्याचा अभ्यास आपल्याकडे होतो, आपल्याकडे तिबेटी भाषेचा अभ्यास होतो. So we have taken this approach that we will study all languages and all sorts of literature related to Buddhism. Then we took another step. So in 2012 we entered into the area of applied Buddhism, and we started courses in Buddhist psychology because we thought that, and at that time there were no talks of Indian knowledge system in the education system. So but we started, and we thought that we should bring forth this Buddhist knowledge system, and we started these courses in Buddhist psychology in the Mahayana tradition. Then we also started a course in the Theravada tradition, and at the same time we also looked at another important area because we thought that as Baba Sahib said, Dhamma is for social transformation. Dhamma should change the world. It should solve the problems of humanity. It should work for removing the sufferings of mankind. And therefore we decided that we should also be focusing on the area of applied Buddhism, applied or socially engaged Buddhism. And we started a course in that. And then just I think 2-3 years back, we also started a course in Ambedkarian Buddhism with the sole idea, the sole aim of studying Baba Sahib's contribution to understanding of Buddhism, to presentation of Buddhism, and to understand his religious philosophy. His philosophy, how he look at religion, what religion should be doing, what religion is, what is a true religion. So he actually adopted this way of what we call as analyzing and studying and critically studying the religious traditions. So this whole tradition of what we call as Dharma Chikitsa, that we kind of adopted, and then of course started this important course in collaboration with Deccan College, where we started studying Buddhist heritage and tourism, trying to bring in the Buddhist tangible heritage, Buddhist literary heritage, and Buddhist philosophical heritage together, and to offer a course with the knowledge of tourism, so that it can make students more job oriented. Now, this was all about our courses, and there are also different initiatives which we have started. Now, today, in front of you, you have two great scholars, two great personalities sitting here. Now, many of you might have thought that I have forgotten, referring to their names at the beginning of my speech, but I have preserved it for the end because I want to talk specially about both of them. I mean, Professor Asanka Tilakaratne, he comes from Sri Lanka, the land of Venerable Anagarika Dharmapala, whose birth anniversary we are celebrating today. And he is a scholar of Pali, he is a scholar of philosophy, and you see, and he is with us under this very fascinating project which we started in 2015, and that is called the Kensei Foundation India Visiting Professorship. Ours is the only university in the entire country, and also in Asia, I can say, that who had this type of visiting professorship program with the support of Kensei Foundation, with annual kind of support of over 21 lakhs. And with this grant support, we could actually, actualize this dream of inviting great scholars, because if our students want to actually, put their mark in the field of Buddhist studies, they should get that exposure, the international exposure. They should know what kind of research is going on in the world, what areas of Buddhist studies they should be pursuing as a career. I mean, we have many students, we have just now seen in the earlier program, small kids, on the stage, most of them around the age of 60, right? But so we have that kind of population about which we are very proud, and we are really happy to see their motivation and enthusiasm to study at this age with such a zeal. But at the same time, we also want to have young minds, and I'm really happy this year that we have many young minds with us. And with that, the department has really become very lively. I mean, I must say that I'm really happy about it, with this good young population coming to study Pali. Now, for them as a career opportunities, I mean, you will have your great careers opportunities, but you have to excel in the field. म्हणजे ज्यांना कोणाला या क्षेत्रामध्ये करिअर करायचंय, त्यांना या क्षेत्रामध्ये तुम्ही तुमचं उत्कृष्टता मिळवली पाहिजे, प्रावीण्य मिळवलं पाहिजे, तरच तुम्हाला जगभरामध्ये कुठे तुम्हाला स्थान मिळेल. स्थान